Welcome back, Pac-12 Media Days here in Southern California. I'm Eric Sorensen with Sports 360 AZ. I'm with Doug Haller, AZ Central Sports. Yesterday, we gave you a little thumbnail sketch of the Arizona Wildcats. Today, Todd Graham's team did the rounds here in Hollywood. And let's start with, Doug, the same question I asked you yesterday about U of A. Todd Graham and the Devils picked to finish 5th, just above Colorado in the South. Todd's first year here, they were also projected 5th, went on to win, I believe, 8 games. Do you see the same thing happening this fall?
Well, first of all, I think that's probably a good place for him to be. I thought it'd be 4th or 5th. Whether or not they can get to 8 wins, I'm not sure, Eric. There's just so many questions with, the quarterback, as everyone knows, the offensive line, the secondary. I will say that usually when Todd Graham's teams don't have expectations, they outperform them. But I just kind of look at that 6 win, bowl eligibility as the line right now. Can they get to 6? I think that's going to be a challenge. But like I said, I think 3 out of the 4 years they've actually outperformed the preseason media poll. So we'll see if they can do that again.
You're familiar with Todd Graham, obviously being on the beat since he arrived in Tempe. This morning when he addressed the media, to me, he seemed a little bit more subdued than his usual outgoing, boisterous self, almost a little bit defiant. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think there are 2 things with this. One, Ray Anderson's comments were, he suggested more of a talk less, deliver more approach. And I think the part that really bothers Todd about that comment is the deliver more approach, because he's been here 4 years. He's had 1 bad year, and then he has that first year they outperformed expectations, and they won 10 games back-to-back years, which is something that hasn't been done since the 70s. I think that really bothers him. The fact about talk less, and he actually mentioned this, that's not who he is. I mean, he likes to talk to the media. There's a reason that the radio interviews always go a little bit longer with Todd. It's because once you get him started, he gets going. And he said that. He goes, I'm just going to be who I am. And really, you have a situation where Ray publicly said, we want you to take this approach, or we want to take this approach. And Todd said, I'm going to do what I always do.
And in many ways, when Todd Graham speaks, it can be his best friend or his worst enemy. Sometimes he says things that catch headlines and make news in a positive way. And sometimes I'm sure the people at Arizona State maybe wish he would tone it back a little bit. But one of the obvious storylines here at Media Day with Arizona State is the quarterbacks. Much like Arizona, there is a finger quote quarterback controversy. Do you have any read on how this is going to play out?
Well, based on the last 2 days at Media Days, I don't think anybody learned anything about that competition, because Todd said absolutely nothing. I asked him, how are you going to rep 3 or 4 guys, the first week, the second week, to get them ready? And, he pretty much said, we'll let Chip Lindsey, the offensive coordinator, handle that. He was asked about the quarterback competition today, and he just talked about how great all 4 of them were. Eric, I'll be honest, I think he knows right now who his quarterback's going to be September 3rd.
I tend to agree.
And I think it's going to be Manny Wilkins. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But just based on what he has said as far as valuing leadership and how the team knows who it's going to be, I just think that the guy with the most experience and the guy that I thought exited spring with just a little bit of a lead was Manny. Again, if he has a lead, they're all bunched in there right together. Todd did mention that, at this point, 2 years or 3 years ago, he would have said Mike Bercovici was the guy, and it turned out that Taylor Kelly won the job the first week or so of practice and started for the next 3 years. That's always a possibility, but I think they're pretty set. Just my opinion, I think they're pretty set on Manny Wilkins right now.
Well, that'll do it from here in Hollywood as Pac-12 Media Days wrap up. Again, ASU opens with the Lumberjacks September 3rd at a hopefully remodeled and complete Sun Devil Stadium.